We're next to a green ash tree here, and this is the main entry point into our back area as you come into our backyard. But we're starting to get one of these lower branches is starting to really encroach on that little natural area that you're going to walk through. It's also getting extremely difficult to mow under. I'm actually a fan of low hanging branches on trees. I like to leave their natural form as long as I can, but it's time. So we're going to go ahead and get in there and we're going to prune this branch back. The first step you want to do when pruning, you want to release the weight or the pressure on that branch. So we're going to cut about 3 feet out to do that. Once we have released the pressure, now we can go in and we can make a nice clean cut up next to the trunk. There's no going back now. We'll go ahead and make the final cut. Not a bad idea. Get some of the twigs out of your way. Make it a little bit easier to work. If you look close here, this is where you want to leave this little transition point, this bark collar, bark ridge. We're not going to go flush. Research has shown if you go a flush cut right up to this trunk here, you're going to get a wound way back inside this main trunk. Now this final step, I'm keeping the pressure up with my left hand. I don't want it to tear. So we're going to slow down. Look at that. Nice, perfect cut. Let's take a look from our initial viewpoint. And yeah, we've opened it up quite a bit. We could stop right there. Looks great from this side. Looks in balance, the whole tree. Let's see what it looks like from the other side. And here it's a little bit different story, a little lopsided. Take a look on the right there. It's just kind of hanging down too low. So I think we're going to have to start by lifting up a few of those lower branches. A little bit smaller branches now, so we're going to switch over to the loppers. See if we can take care of it that way. Sometimes I'll shake a branch and it'll give you a pretty good idea what we're going to lose. Here again, we're going to take a little bit of the pressure off the tree by cutting it first. And we don't have to take off that whole branch. We can take off some of the lower lateral branches first. See if we accomplish our goal that way. Once we get in here, I've noticed quite a few little dead twigs, which is normal. You've got less sun, so as a tree grows, gains width, that dead growth is going to be something you'll always have. I'm really happy with how this all turned out. I'm not sure why I waited so long, quite honestly. Look at that, another whole window has been opened up underneath that tree. You can see straight through into the landscaping in the background. So we've accomplished that. The perennials below us are going to get a little bit more sun next year. They're going to do better, yet they're going to have shade, since that's more a little bit of a shade garden for us. So all in all, this is a great early fall pruning project. This is Royal Frost Birch. A couple winters ago, this thing died back completely. I thought it was dead, and I cut it back, was going to dig it out and replace it with something else, but a couple little sprouts started coming, and man, look at it. After just a couple seasons, having that root system that was already established, it's really powered out the growth. So we've got a multi-trunk situation now where since the tree died back, many different sprouts have come back. And we're going to trim this up. We're going to expose that ornamental trunkage. That's the goal. At the same time, we've got a winged euonymus or a burning bush kind of crowded in here. That was also a little tree form that I had planted. They call it a burning bush on standard. Well, that died back to the ground as well. And every season, I've been cutting it back to the ground, and it just keeps coming back. So overall, the goal, we're going to lift these branches up, about probably 3-4 feet this season. The burning bush we're going to leave. It's too early in the season. We'll wait till either November we'll cut it back, or in March, and April is a great time for rejuvenation. I'm always preaching that. I love spring for hard pruning on deciduous shrubs. I'll mention too, use good, sharp pruning tool. This is a very old FELCO, still works like it's brand new. When you make that cut, you do want to leave a little bit of that stub there. There's a collar ridge on the top and the bottom there. You don't want to go flush all the way up. That'll help heal it off. This can be a fairly time-consuming process. A lot of little twigs to clip off. As you can see, that changed the character of this whole area. Birch have a really nice bark that it should always be highlighted, kind of getting that little bit of that coloring that happens at that caliper stage, as well as a little bit of an exfoliating cinnamon brown on this variety. And if you look closer here, these are the original 3 stumps. It was a 3-stemmed clump birch. We've got 11 that we left now. We don't have to keep all those. I might, but I sure like the looks of it. The burning bush over here, we're going to leave it as I mentioned. It's just a little bit too warm yet in the fall cycle to prune it back. So come November, after some hard frosts, we'll cut that to the ground again. And next year, in all likelihood, I'm going to have to start keeping this a little bit sheared throughout the season. It just is going to be too much competition. One of the other things we're after when we're pruning, we want to create windows, viewpoints, so we don't want to have walls necessarily. We'll continue to lift those birch branches up over the year, and that's going to be an annual thing, by the way. The birch can have kind of a draping, and sprouts are going to want to keep going. It can actually become just a large shrub if you let it go, and that's your option. You can certainly do that as well. Thanks for watching Garden Hike. We'll see you again next time.